There's an elephant in the room, and this elephant is huge, maybe not so huge, and Portuguese, and is at Manchester United. So Ruben Amorim has survived all these other managers who arguably did better than he's doing at the moment. What's going on there? And how long has he got? Because I mean, I'm not sure he's going to make it to the end of the season. You probably uh, have the well, I should think most football observers have the same opinion. What's going on? Is it just about the contract that they've given him at Manchester United? They can't afford to sack him.
It's very strange. I think it's like that metaphor of a cockroach in an atomic explosion that they managed to survive nonetheless. I think he's surviving the unsurvivable in a sense that at sporting level, probably for the past 6 months, he should have been out of a job, I think. And I think now we're dealing again with egotistic owners because I don't think they want to recognize the huge mistake they did in hiring a manager that had only proven himself in a couple of seasons, that only plays one certain style of play that never have fitted not neither the squad nor the type of play that you have in the Premier League. So both are wrong regarding to that approach, and then doesn't have the flexibility to change, to adjust, to search for short-term solutions to buy himself time. And we're not talking about buy himself time like Alex Ferguson did in the 80s, because then if you bought time, it was buying 5 years into the future. Now you have to buy 5 months into the future, but he never made the effort. He has been very vocative in the press, stating that he is his own man, and probably that is also a PR mistake from the ownership because they practically give the sensation they hired a lunatic. They hired a guy that is prepared to lose with his ideas, and then took a size of a juggernaut football club into hell with him just for the sake of it. And I think that is very problematic. Probably the situation is regardless money. Probably Man United has too much to pay for Amorim, and as they had with Ten Hag and their previous sacked managers, and they are trying to find a solution. Probably there's no other manager in the market available that they think would replace him and improve what he's doing. Because let's face it, without a job now, we don't see many managers who probably would pick up Man United and start from scratch all over again and build an important side for the future. That's what the club needs, not only immediate results, but also to create a legacy for the upcoming years with all the project of the change of the whole Trafford Stadium and all the idea of remaining to be a very important club. But then you have the news like 2 weeks ago that they remain one of the clubs most valuable in the world. So probably the owners are very comfortable with that, regardless of the sporting situation. And if they have the opportunity, if there's a manager in the market that appears free, I think they will go for him and they will sack Amorim at that moment, but not until then, even if he continues to lose matches during the week at an astonishing rate for any Man United manager in history.
Did you think it was going to be a disaster when it happened?
No, I never thought it was going to be a disaster because I didn't knew enough Amorim to be able to anticipate that he would be such a problematic character in terms of ego. I think he would come with his idea. I already knew he would like to play the 3-4-2-1 that he played at Braga and Sporting. And I also saw that the club would buy the exact players that he needed. I don't think they did. No, not in January, not in the summer. I don't think they took the needs of the squad too deeply. And I think that the moves they did for certain players were well below the standards that they actually require. But I also thought that he's going to be smart enough to adapt if the project failed him at the beginning and see that he isn't able to move. I think it probably is a shame because he actually traced the line for the rest of his career, because every single football club that will hire in the future will know that this is it. This is the guy that you're going to hire. This is I would say like a tactical maniac. It's like the issues that got Bielsa, which is such a vanguardist and such an important manager, having so many issues to be hired by important clubs, because he was much like Amorim. I will play my own way. I will play my tactical display. I will play with my mentality. If you like it, buy it. If you don't like it, just leave me alone. I don't know if Amorim has the stomach to be managing the Espanyols or those football clubs into the future. He will probably be rich enough at that time. I don't know if he aims to come back to Portugal to lick his wounds in the future, because in Portugal he will always have a job, that's for sure. I don't know if he ends up in Brazil, where so many Portuguese managers have ended over the years. But I really do know that if you're a chairman of Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico, Juventus, you're not
Not a
going to
hope.
hire Amorim.
No,
You're not
not a hope.
going to fall into that trap once again that Man United fell. And probably they should have been doing a better assessment of him during the casting. And I think they were just too in love with the way that Sporting played, which was brilliant. And I think they were too in love with the way that he revolutionized the club. You have to remember that Sporting before Amorim spent 18 years without a league title. Amorim won two and a half. That is more titles that Sporting had won in 50 years. So for them, probably that was an idea that this is a guy that can build things from scratch, a little bit like Alex Ferguson did with Aberdeen before going to Man United. I think they had that similarity in mind, but they will probably would have been better if they had assessed his character and to believe that he would not be a guy that would be moved by the need to adapt and would be his own man until the very end, even if that means sunking the ship and him with him.
Yeah, the one thing I don't understand is how, here, and you will know this phrase, I don't need to tell you, how he has not lost the dressing room. There are players there who look like they don't want to be there. And not only they look like they don't want to be there, some of the new players, there's certainly one, Brian Mbeumo, somebody pointed out that, after or during one of the matches, the camera zoomed in on him and he had this expression on his face, which basically suggested, look, what on earth have I done coming here? I was at Brentford, I was doing really well, I was scoring, and now I can't get a sniff for toffee. And somehow none of them are coming out and criticising, as far as I know anyway, Amorim. And whatever we say, we're not hearing from the board. If he were to lose the dressing room, if the players were to revolt and say, look, enough of this, enough of your way or no way, at that point, yeah, I can't see the board still hanging on to him, whatever the cost. Can you?
I don't think he has the dressing room with him. I think the famous press conference after the Grimsby match, when he said that the players spoke loud enough about what they thought. I think it was a message clear that they weren't buying. They weren't buying his idea. They weren't buying his methods. They weren't buying his philosophy. And I think there was a moment when I was watching live the press conference, and I think he wants to be sacked. He really wants to have his paycheck on his table tomorrow, because I think he's tired of it, and probably is now in that stage where he doesn't care if he's sacked or not. And I think the players know that, so the players are also buying their time, because they don't need to confront him, because it's everyone can see the situation. They don't need to be the bad guys in this. They don't need to be the ones that are messing up with the club members, with the supporters, creating a negative tension from within. I think they are all aware that Amorim time is a dead man walking, and it probably will be sacked before the end of the year if the opportunity rises. So they actually don't even. And also, you're looking at a squad of players that never won anything with the club. So they don't have that legacy, they don't have that relevance, that dressing room mentality to impose themselves against any manager, being Amorim or wherever, because they are not the Man United that we know. You don't have any leader there from the old days that says, "No, I remember when we were good. I remember when we won stuff, and we just want to go back to that." They're all gone. So you have guys with strong character like Bruno Fernandes, like Harry Maguire, but they are there only for a couple of seasons, and they never enjoyed the good days. So probably that's one of the things that they are not being as outspoken as they will probably should be in this situation.